G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today we're going to have another look at the P59. Again, this was another clip or battle that I took on stream, or that happened on my live stream, so link in the description below. I'll basically stream whenever I feel like it, no set roster or schedule or anything like that. But before we get into the battle itself, I'd like to just make a bit of a correction or a clarification to one of the videos that I made earlier about the mouse. Now, as I understand it, when we heard that the mouse was being removed from the tech tree, as well as the 10.5, the Coelian, and the Panther 2, the original statement I thought was that went with Gaijin was that the mouse was going to be removed and then become an event vehicle of some sort. Now, obviously, this is still the case, but from a conversation with Stoner, between the European Canadian and Stoner, and some information from Collusion IA, who is a game master and a good friend of mine, we realize, or we know now, that it will become a vehicle like the LA-174, which you can actually... Gaijin will essentially release it to be researched for about a 5-day, 6-day period, and then it will become hidden again. But as long as you have one RP put towards the mouse, or at least one RP, rather, you should be fine. You will still be able to research your mouse in 1.91. Regardless, off to the video topic today, which is the P59 Airacomet. A lot of people seem to, be a little bit strongly opinioned in the comment section. While I was recording this footage, it was, in fact, the only P59 Airacomet to be flying at the time, I suppose, along with all the other content creators who got theirs. So I guess maybe 120 in total, 130 including, close friends of game devs, etc. Not a lot of them. And so the matchmaker was nice and unsoiled, no P59s in the sky, and it was really, really nice to see how it did against props only, and with only one P59 on the team. My opinion on it still stands. I still think it is a great event plane. I don't think it is a great grinder, but I do think it is a lot of fun. So if you're looking at something fun, then sure, pick it up. But if you're looking for something to grind, I would probably take the P47M over this. Just because the P47M will get you more consistent results. And it'll also teach you the basics on how to fly, so when you finally get up to your jets, then you'll probably have a better time doing that. But the P59 itself is really weird, as I said in my last video on it. Basically, it turns really well because it has big fat wings, but it's not fast, and it loses a lot of energy retention in turns. In verticals, maybe not so much. And this is probably why I like it, because, funnily enough, this is how the Javelin plays. Almost how the Javelin plays, rather. But you have, I guess, a prop meta mixed in with it, which throws it up a little bit. Instead of playing for speed, everyone's playing for altitude, which is, the right thing to do in props and the right thing to do in jets. But you have a situation where you're the only jet. And at 5.3, rank 4, I can kind of understand why. It does make sense. And I honestly don't see it at 5.7 because as it gets higher against things like, I guess, the Yak-15, which in some cases, if you dump enough energy, you can actually cut into the turn of Spitfires. Not flat out turn fight with them, but you can at least cut into them by bleeding energy and reducing your turning circle. But that's for another video. I hope one day. I hope I can get that footage one day. But in the P59, what I'm doing is I'm doing a bit of a climb. I'm climbing at speed. Now, this is something you should always do, regardless of whether or not you're climbing in a prop or a jet. You should always climb at a certain speed. Whereas in jets, I guess that speed is a lot higher. You build yourself up to a speed, and then you burst climb, and then you build yourself up to that's the same speed again, and then you burst climb again. It's a kind of mix that I'm doing here. I'm climbing at a speed. I'm also sort of trying things out. This is what I want to do in this plane. And at this point in time, I want to test it out and see what I can do. Look for those enemy planes, and there they are. They all seem to be below me, and that's what I want especially with Germans. I want to be able to get a little bit above them. I want to be faster than them because they have things like the TAR 152C, and that thing will absolutely ruin me because it has way better energy retention. It gets an air spawn, it has better guns, and it will just outperform the P59 in a dogfight if they know what they're doing. Obviously, if you've got speed built up and the TAR 152 is low on energy and you dive on them, well, yeah, that's kind of game over for the TAR, but at the same time, you rarely see those situations. A lot of the time, the P59 will be in the energy disadvantage. And so what you need to do is you need to make sure that, there are a couple around that you can take care of and that you have an energy advantage over before you start engaging everything else. And as you can see, I'm not diving. I'm choosing not to dive because as you look at the scoreboard, there are some players, and you can see I flash my mouse over there because I'm talking to chat. I can not see any of these players. I don't know where they are. I look for the one at the bottom because that's the last to spawn in, and sure enough, there they are as I do a nice little turn, and they're really close. So if I was slow, I wouldn't have time to pick up speed without diving and losing my altitude. So never lose your altitude if you can afford to, but at the same time, sometimes you have to, and in this case, I'm going to sacrifice a little bit of altitude, try and get some speed because that BF-109 is going straight for the deck, and there's a 190 above me. That's a pretty big problem to start off with because the 190 can outdive me. He can get lots of speed very quickly and he retains it fairly well, but as I can quickly grab myself a kill, hopefully try and save this, I believe it's a P51 above me, but unfortunately I think I lost him. Yeah, there we go. He's on fire. It's a Corsair. There wasn't a whole lot I could do. I'm only so fast and I don't want to spray and waste all my ammunition because I have a bigger fight ahead of me. And it turns out that I'm going to need my ammunition here. I only get 350 cals, but at the moment with the damage that 50 cals do, I think it's more than enough. The 37 is also kind of nice. I would only use it... I would pretend it's not there. You play it the same way you play the P50 or P63 and the P39. Pretend that the 37 isn't there and lead the 50 cals. It takes a lot of practice, but for me, I think I've had somewhat like 200 or 400 battles in P63s in total. So I'm pretty comfortable with leading it and pretty confident in my aim. As for the P63 itself, the guns are kind of cool. Like they work, they do enough damage, and you can see here with the plane at speed, I can sort of start to do a bit of work. And here comes the poor energy retention in a turn. I am putting it into a vertical, but I'm doing a turn at the same time, and you can see that I've bled a good like 150 to 200 kilometers per hour. And, whilst that's not too bad, you'll see when I start getting into proper dogfights that it's going to start weighing down on me. And it's going to start weighing down hard. This thing will absolutely lose energy if it's not careful. And you can see here, as I put myself up into a really sharp vertical and begin to nose over, my airspeed really starts to drop off. And I don't make that back because... let's face it, these engines are pretty crap. They're not great engines. That's okay though, because the plane is also built for turning. So if I can boom and zoom in a turn fighter or in an energy fighter, then, I've pretty much got it made here. And you can see me just boom and zooming this G2 Tropical, which is in a full up tier, by the way. Although I will say the G2 Tropical is more than capable of fighting 5.3s. It could almost be at 4.7. It's so good, but I love the G2. This A4, A8, sorry, I can't read, is in a bit of a pickle as well because he's lost all of his energy. One thing you do not do in a Focke-Wulf is lose your energy. Same in a BF-109. And this G2 Trop seems to find out the hard way. Gets a nice little critical strike into his... Is he just giving up? He's given up, ladies and gents, so he's given me the kill. That's some decent sportsmanship there. But thank you very much to that G2. And, I've just managed to get myself some lovely kills. That's, I believe, 4, 3, something like that. And the P59 is actually capable as a boom and zoomer, as well as a turn fighter. It's not a bad plane, but again, I wouldn't grind with it. It's too weird. It's just not conventional enough, and whilst that makes it interesting and cool, it certainly doesn't make it an easy learning curve. This plane took me a while to get used to, and I'm sure it will take you a little while to get used to. I really genuinely believe that it is a good plane. And for those people that want to say, hey, I'm just doing it so I can, earn one through the event and sell it on the market, you're very funny. Thanks for being making my day with some good jokes. I'm not going to grind the event anymore. I don't care about it. But I wouldn't mind getting those packs, those like soldier packs. They're kind of cool. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have a look at the ground event, or maybe see if I can buy some off the marketplace. But anyway, regardless, there's a BF109, and you can see that he's actually outrunning me in a dive. That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. This thing is definitely worth 5.3. It's not fast. It is not a miracle plane. It does lose a lot of energy very quickly, and this is its major weak spot. If you lose all your speed, and then 3 guys come and jump you, like they did in the previous video. If you haven't watched that, by the way, go and watch that. That's fantastic. But you can see now what he's done is he's put himself into a vertical and then realized the P51 is there, so he's put himself into a turn, bleeding all energy and speed, and wow. That 37 absolutely shears his wing off. It's a really, really fun plane. Definitely a good event plane, and like I said in the Orbital video, again, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it. But Guardian have nailed this event because none of the event vehicles are ridiculously overpowered. A lot of them are very unique, but at the same time, a lot of them have tech tree equivalents. Obviously, the P59 doesn't have a tech tree equivalent, but it's nowhere near as powerful as any of the other planes at its tier. If you use it properly, you can get some good results, and obviously, if you're facing it, you have to be cautious that you're not either playing to its strengths or, sitting with low energy all the time at low altitude. The way you take this thing out is very, very simple, actually. You just get above it, and there's nothing it can do. It can't zoom climb up to you very well. It'll have trouble dogfighting you on low energy, on low speed. The problem is when it picks up its speed, it becomes really strong. And, same thing with all jets. But if you manage to take it to a low speed and play energy with it, like you can with most props, in fact, you could probably even do it with a P47, you will get yourself a really, really easy time. It'll just be super easy. And that's quite simply the easiest way to deal with the P59. Just get better energy over it. And it's quite simple because it bleeds a lot in a turn. But yeah, P59 Airacomet. I probably wouldn't pick it up on the market, but that's me. If you really want it, then obviously there's no one stopping you. But if you're looking to grind something with it, it's no Orbital. I don't think it'll be worth picking it up for a grind. I would much recommend that you spend the money on a P47M or an American Spitfire or something that you're comfortable with that will help you learn props. But anyway, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and enjoy the silver lions you get from this thing too, because it makes bank. It's great fun if you know how to play it. Anyway, ladies and gents, thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.